99.3 Nigeria Info. Good morning to you, Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome to Daily Digest. Dailies today, rather. The second part of the show. The first part started around, and I listened to everything that you people were discussing with Kofi Batels. But let's bring you some analysis to those stories and more. I'm Sheriff Quadry.
And I'm Jimi. Disu. Good morning.
You can watch this show on Facebook and on YouTube. Nigeria Info 99.3 is how you can watch. You can watch it on your smart TV as well. Just log on to youtube.com/Nigeria Info FM and you'll be able to watch on screen or any of your devices. Let's start with the Vanguard newspaper this morning. We are on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Akpabio Natasha, Senate hearing turns chaotic as Simoboyi Ezekwesili clash.
Right. I know everybody's been giving an opinion on what happened. But I'll split the blame into two. And so with due respect, I'd like to say that from what I gathered and from what Dr. Ezekwesili, who I hold so much in high esteem, and I mean it from my heart, I'm not, being patronizing. From what I heard and what I heard from her, she kicked off what could jolly well have been avoided between two grown-up Nigerians who really and truly are in dignified positions. But she kicked the first bucket. She kicked the bucket first by telling a senator of the Federal Republic to get out. That was completely unacceptable to me. No matter the anger, because the man apparently didn't say anything to her to warrant her telling him to get out, and that is not something decent to say to any human being. It's not something decent to do. But having said that, the gentleman's reaction, the senator's reaction, shows that he lacks complete maturity as a fully grown-up man. You don't go, if you're in an argument with somebody, at the very least, you stick to the argument. In fact, what we are told, and I'm sorry, I don't want to appear, as if I'm bringing down women, but what we are told, what our fathers told us when we were young, is that when a woman loses her temper, you must keep yours. Even on the domestic front, my father taught me never talk back to a woman. Let her do whatever she wants to say and keep your cool. Because at the end of it all, very few people remember that it was Dr. Ezekwesili that started it all. But even if he wasn't a senator, you don't tell a man in public to get out. I can't even tell my own children, I can't tell my son or any of my daughters to get out in public. It's unacceptable. Now, having said all that, let's look at the larger picture. The larger picture is wide and varied, but I'll take a few of the consequences and results of what you just saw. Increasingly, our adults in Nigeria are not behaving well in public. Increasingly. And it's not restricted to male or female. We have a new trend in this country that is very, very dangerous. And that is a trend of self-importance, where you think that you are more important than the other person who is around you. I was never brought up like that. I didn't grow up in that kind of circumstance in this same country. I grew up in a circumstance where even when we were working as clerks, in the ministry, I worked in the Ministry of Justice for about a year. Even the messenger you are going to call to go buy, usually to go and buy meat pie, Kingsway, and whatever, you do so, even though it is job, you do so with respect. Mm-hmm. But in Nigeria now, everybody now seems to be the norm to have an air of importance. Because I was hearing things like, You cannot be here. That is why you cannot be here. You cannot be where? You are a senator. So what? So what? Is that the entrance to heaven? And then she, in reply, in the Senate chambers, said, yes, I cannot be here because I'm not a, was it, I can't remember the word, hooligan or whatever she said, in full glare of everybody. That means making a veiled reference to him and his colleagues. And I'm glad nobody picked it up there. Or they probably picked it up and decided to ignore it. The other worrying side of things is that, let us be very honest with ourselves, increasingly Nigerians are losing respect for our politicians across the board. Increasingly. And in 9 cases out of 10, it is a self-inflicted injury. They have not conducted themselves well. They haven't stood up for the people. They have ascribed so many things to themselves, making them lords of the manor and the rest of us being ordinary serfs. And so where all this is going, I hope it doesn't get to a point when our politicians, our traditional rulers, our religious leaders will not find it difficult to go down the road to buy a loaf of bread. It's coming. It is coming. I know what was in, not that I know, I feel what was in Dr. Ekwesili's mind. Ezekwesili. I know what was in her mind. She had built that up, and to be honest with you, a lot of us feel that way, that who are these people? What have we ever done for the people? You have got so many things wrong. You have showed yourself to be so much privileged in all manners possible. In the middle of this hardship, you are buying yourself exotic cars. I read a story somewhere where it was reported, allegedly, always remind me to just pinch me and say allegedly, where it was said that some $5,000 was distributed, and some said, oh, it was for Salah. Which Salah? Money from where?
From what budget?
From what budget? And let's drag it all the way down to the local. The scenario that happened in Lagos recently. How does anybody want me to accord some of the gentlemen that were involved in that whole scenario? How am I supposed to stand up when some of them come into a room? It's not likely. The way our traditional rulers behave, I'm not going to go flat on I'm not going to go to their palaces. But if you think that I'm going to go flat on the ground because I see any traditional ruler, it's not out of being proud or anything. In any case, if I go down, somebody has to lift me up. It's okay, I can't get up myself. But minus all that, increasingly people are losing the respect. And respect begets respect. So I would like the politicians to look inwards again, talk amongst themselves to look at where the signs that are going. I've already said Ezekwesili started this one, so I'm not apportioning blame on the gentleman. But to look at the whole scenario and see it as a first yellow. That the way this country is going, people are going to increasingly lose respect. Because if you look at the headship of the political class, like political class and so on and so forth, I want to be very careful here, but reflect on what President Jonathan said. The judiciary have to be very careful. A time will come when there's nobody inside. We are going to release the other junk on his third. Yes, because these people too haven't shown the prerequisite responsibility that goes with where they are placed. We see them mainly, not all of them, but mainly as very selfish people, thinking for themselves and their families only, misguiding our younger ones. They are the ones who go about abusing people in the social media. I've not seen the son of one politician in office who has joined the gang of misguided young people that go about abusing people in the social media. So I think it is what happened calls for concern for the various parties that I have said, because I believe Nigeria is a conspiracy between the civil service, the politicians, the religious leaders, and the elites. So that's where it will end today, and this one will end here today. But also the good thing, and I'd like to give the senator credit, I heard him myself apologize in a TV program. I think it was Arise or so. I think it was Arise it was on Arise that he did apologize, that he was sorry. He realized she's a mommy, but that she was the one who sparked it off in him. Generally, to my fellow men, always keep your cool. We are wired differently, and you can never win a shouting match with a woman. You cannot.
Muhyiddin say you are indulging the women rather.
I'm indulging them.
Yes, by asking men to keep quiet when a woman.
They are not indulging his wisdom. Go and listen to Fela's Rofo fights. He's out there. What he said is that, and I'm not making this analogy direct, but what he says is that if you have somebody who has a problem and is already covered in Rofo and he wants to drag you into the mud and fight with you, by the time the two of you finish, they won't know who is who. And again, like I always say, this program is meant to inspire people. You can, if you want to go into a shouting match with a woman, please go on. Go on. But I've learned, even at home, even with your daughters, when you discipline them up to a point, you better just pull back, because when the tears start coming and whatever, these are facts of life. Look, might is not right. Living in this world peacefully, it demands give and take. You can't claim your rights all the time. The man apologized later, because I'm sure when everything died down, he would have felt embarrassed, not wisdom. Yes, he would have felt embarrassed. So what's his name again? Muhyiddin. Maori. Next time you have don't do what you like. I'm just joking with it. I just want to rattle you a little bit. But I'm not indulging. These are up to a certain age in life. You have to find a group. Do you know, Sheriff? Do you know that sometimes you can start as an ordinary quarrel in a bus? By the time a woman is finished with you, it could come to attempted rape. It could end anywhere. Assault, battery, name it. So you must always keep your cool, my brother. We did always keep your cool.
Okay. Let's move on to our next story.
You didn't advise them. You made it look as if I'm the only one. What do you think?
You are the ancestor. What do I know? I don't know.
I want to pass the baton. but Sheriff, I was quite amused when he was trying to say that Obi Ezekwesili was a nobody because he believes he is a senator, a former vice president of the World Bank, one-time minister, well respected worldwide,
globally. Yes,
he shouldn't have used that sentence at all. It shouldn't have. And then another thing, quickly, when you are in an argument with somebody, never go personal. At 70, look at that. I don't think she's 70 yet, but at 70, you don't do that. Okay, so what could he have done? If when the woman said me to shut up, point of order, leader, I take exception to my well-respected woman, my well-respected madam here, whom I hold in high esteem. She just told me to shut up. I don't think, I need you to save me from this kind of embarrassment. There's a way you present yourself. Do you understand? But maybe no.
Yes.
He was
enraged. Yes.
He was enraged.
Yes, he was. Okay. Page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Bid to bomb another pipeline in Rivers foiled. Police, Army, Navy, Air Force, others.
When you read this, you first of all get the impression that maybe there's some militancy going on, and you begin to wonder if you are open-minded, you begin to think you could be either those who are sympathetic to Fubara, or could be those who are sympathetic to Wike, who want to create a situation that would ensure that the administrator stays as long as he likes. You have to be open-minded about that. But there's something that guided my thinking here. I'm quoting now from a gentleman called Adepoju. Okay? I'm quoting, is the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State. I'm quoting him. Adepoju disclosed that the security team foiled several attempts by criminals to take advantage of developments in the state to vandalize critical assets of government, adding that one suspect died while attempting to detonate an explosive on the pipeline. You hear what the Commissioner of Police said? He said criminals to take advantage of development in the state to vandalize critical assets. So what he has said could be, and he should know, exonerating any of the two groups. So that is in that sense I want us to understand this, because the story made headline. And the first thing you see, beat to bomb another pipeline, say, how many times? The Commissioner of Police has said that, again I repeat, several attempts by criminals to take advantage of development in the state to vandalize critical assets of government. And that one suspect died while attempting to detonate an explosive on the pipeline. Had the editor seen this, I don't think this story would have been front page news.
Yeah. But what do you make of these attempts? Two have been successful, one unsuccessful. Maybe there will be more.
Well, generally people are restless. I think that when these bombings are done, maybe there's something to scoop. I think there's some. You heard what the commissioner said.
They usually don't bomb if they want to scoop.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. You.
Yes, they don't. Me, I don't know them.
You might know their mindset and modus operandi. I don't know.
I just know that. I mean, when they bomb those things, it's of no use to them themselves.
No, but you might think so. But talking seriously now, let me quit first. There could be some materials they gather. You just never know. I don't think they are bombing for political
reasons.
No, there must be something that they're gaining from there. In any case, when you bomb, it opens up the pipeline. It opens up the pipeline.
Yeah, but they can't get close to it. They can never get close to it.
I don't know.
I'm very sure of it.
Because
it's like hellfire when you do this.
The fire will go down.
Have you seen hellfire? No, it doesn't. That's the thing.
Have I seen hellfire? Okay. Excuse me. Have I gone to hell? No, it's cool. If you don't kill me now, tell you. I know you're the only to get it on me. I honestly, but you know, people like you and I have very open minds. We don't want to do anything criminal. But when you look at, if you ask yourself, where would somebody go to Echo Bridge, for example, with a saw and cut off all the pipes?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't. Yeah. So you never know, you know. There must be something. There must be something. And those with criminal minds, I don't think, not all of them do it for political purposes. There must be something that they gain from these things. Plus the fact that, having said that, locally, the people themselves are frustrated sometimes with all this erosion and all, you know, whatever. You just never know. But I'd like to refer to the Commissioner for Police. I'd like to refer to his statement and use it as a guiding principle before other people begin, since he's making front page, say they have started, though, and so on and so forth. Okay.
Let's quickly go pick up the editorial page of the Punch newspaper. Call members and free speech.
Yes, this is in reference to the youth corper who was she's okay now. Nobody has picked her up
so far.
So far, yes. And they don't believe she has committed an offense. The point says that many believe that as a core member, Oguamaye should not have criticized the government the way she did. They cite the example of soldiers and police officers who do not appraise the government openly. And then they remind us that core members are not soldiers or police officers. Under the NYSC Act of Revised Bylaws 2011, nowhere is it stated that core members should not criticize the president or the government. They say though the core member has apologized to the Lagos State government, the backlash against her is disproportional. I agree with the next statement, and I want to read it out loud and clear. Young people should be given the chance to air their views. The government should take a cue from such views to make amends where necessary. Gagging them is against the spirit and letters of the Constitution. Section 39 of the 1999 Constitution guarantees citizens freedom of expression. And the point goes on to add that even under a military dictatorship, Nigerians protested. Yes, we did. But now in a democracy, people are suppressed from expressing their opinions and protesting government policies. Under the military, we did. I remember writing some articles. I was writing a column back in the day, and once in a while, I'd be summoned by my father-in-law then, my late father-in-law, and he tell me, Jimi, your mama kuba mi, mommy, you know. We survived it. In fact, those of us who, I remember one time Chris Okoje, I think it was Chris Okoje, yes, he was detained. The army came to pick him up and took him to Apapa, and we were all scared. I think he wrote something about the then head of state's wife or something. And we were all scared. I can't remember the full details. Long story short, by the time we went to pick up Okoji the next day, we had to carry him with a whatever. We had to carry him into the van to bring him back home because he had been so well treated. They left him in the army mess to drink all what eat all the suya.
Oh my word!
Meanwhile, they reported that he was locked up. So I will tell you this, that even all the stories you hear in a gulag, in whatever, the people themselves are sympathetic to what is going on. After they've done what they think the Oga wants to do, then reality comes in. Because Ogoji said they backed at him in the afternoon, and they said, let him go and sit down there. And when they got to the mess, they give him anything he wants. He ate all the suya and by the time we picked him,
Ava couldn't walk.
But now the dangerous part about expressing your opinion in the democratic setting is that various things can happen to you. You can disappear. You can be charged under some cybercrime, whatever it is. You are not sure you are going to get justice in the judiciary of today. And I have the authority of President Jonathan to say that if he says that, then he should know what he's saying. There is no justice in the land. Never deceive yourself. And it's not so much about your hiring a son or whatever. These are things you should know. But all said and done, we must allow young people express themselves. The point says that there are many things the government should be concerned about. It is futile to dissipate energy on nothing. Nigerians are having it rough under Tinubu. Very rough. Very, 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 very rough. Thus, the government should know that more criticisms will come. It cannot inflict hardship on citizens and expect them to keep quiet.
Indeed. Let's go to the trust quickly. We have a few more minutes left. The trust has a story here. 2027. I don't know if I'll run. Atiku.
What I know is that I'm not going to vote for any of the old school again. I've just about had enough. I believe Nigeria needs a new beginning. And I hope all of us rise up and say, enough of recycling these old people, their prejudices, and so on. Atiku accused the Senate president. He said, the Senate president is corrupt and everything. And I think somebody should have tapped him on the shoulder to refer him to Obasanjo's book, who was his boss, who could have written a report on him. I'm not going to cast my vote for any old fuddy-duddy. No way. Nigeria needs a new beginning. If we don't have a fresh beginning, count me out of it. if at the time of election they're going to have these same old faffs running around, I'm not going to be a party to that. I won't even join you in analysis, Sheriff. When you invite me for analysis, I'll be doing Diabumi. Yes. What is it? Let's get if there must be something wrong with us if we continue to vote for this same set of people. Is there any difference amongst them? There must be something wrong with us. If we are not going to vote for a younger person, a new beginning, new thinking, then so be it. It's a free world. He doesn't know. He might say he wants to put himself forward, but Jimi Disu. Is that my surname?
You called your name twice.
And that's why they call me Jimmy 2 times. That was it. No, I really, really believe that we need something fresh.
Yeah.
I think we've just about had enough.
Talking about needing something fresh, the president is planning to organize a national youth conference, a confab for the young people.
Well, the truth is, let me be very honest with you, I don't have confidence in that, because something tells me that even if the president doesn't want them handpicked, those who manage him and his followers will do so likewise to deceive him. The problem with being in government is that those around you will never tell you the truth. So even if the president doesn't say, this is the list of those I want, it is very likely that those around him, to retain themselves in power and do all the nonsense that they do in the president's name, will be doing that. So I don't, rather, what I think is that you should be able to organize themselves. You should be able to organize themselves. And luckily now with the social media, you don't even need a hall. Yes, but you should be able to organize themselves, be it online or whatever it is, and let's start propagating things that will help this country, beginning with a new beginning. Look, this is 2025, 2027. We haven't seen anything that shows that there are a group of people who are thinking of a new beginning. It's always recycling. Obi, Fayemi, this, Atiku. Hey, give me a break. Give me a break.
Do you believe that the Nigerian youths will be able to come up with something concrete?
If they said them, what is a youth anyway? Were we not all youths before? Of course, Ambassador was head of state in his 40s. I think Gawan was in his late 30s. The late Mr. Rashid Gbadamasi was 24 when he was a commissioner in Lagos. What are we talking about? Look at the former president, prime minister of Canada. I don't believe this thing that say because they are young, they don't have rich experience. The older ones, what experience do they have? See where they have brought us. Look at what is happening in Burkina Faso. I am ashamed when I hear about what is going on in Burkina Faso. Look at what is happening in Senegal. Look at the way they have forward thinking. They are young leaders. You have these old hacks who come. There's always a committee of friends. Always a committee of friends. This one, the same old people, recycling the same old people. Nigeria needs a new beginning, and if you're not ready to take it, we'll be wallowing in this nonsense until the young become old without even having any chance at all.
Damn. That's harsh. We have to go now.
It's the truth.
No, it's okay. It's fine. Fine. We must go now, but you're back at 9 for the album. All right.
Today is the day that the Lord has made.
He has made it. Yeah. Lagos, thank you for tuning in. Kofi's next morning to you.
The number one talk station of Lagos is closer to you than ever.
Join the conversation online or on the go.
Be part of the Info family on our user-friendly mobile app and website for a better and improved listening experience.
Download the app from Google Play Store and App Store.
With super efficient and clean audio quality.
Welcome to NigeriaInfo.fm.
Watch us live on YouTube and Facebook.
Follow us on Twitter at NigeriaInfoFM
And Instagram at NigeriaInfoFM Lagos.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk. In 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.